You've tuned in early. I'm going to give you a clue to our quiz answer just because you're here. It's something you normally do in the summer. If you tuned in earlier, you heard a clue to our quiz answer. Sorry you missed it.
They've spent decades in radio, then went into seclusion. But like all of us, cabin fever's gotten too strong. So they put on their headphones, grabbed their microphones, and flipped the big red switch to get back in the spotlight. Now, they're back on the Kent and Kathi Cast.
Yes, we are. Hello.
Oh, wow. It's great to be back.
Yes, and thank you for tuning in. You know, this is an idea that Kathi and I came up with. I don't know, how long ago did we figure this out?
Yesterday, I think. No.
Oh, yeah.
We've been working on it just a little bit because we just missed being with you, quite frankly.
Indeed we did. So we wanted to get together and just kind of get with you again. This cast is all about just having some fun. We want to reconnect. We want to be able to have you join the cast and participate with us in some things we're going to be doing this evening. So thanks for being on the show. Some of the things coming up, we have Kathy's work with a former governor. We also have some COVID habits that we have let ourselves get into. A parenting survey that was given to parents of school-aged children, which you are. Also,
I'm a school-age children. I'm a school-age
No. You're the you're the parent of some, and I know you've got some stories that we can all relate to, and of course the gender mind bender, which Kathi does not know about. I mean, she knows we're going to do it, but she has no idea what the answer is. So that's all on the way here on the Kent and Kathi Cast. Big question is, where in the world have we been for the past couple of months?
We've had so many folks who've reached out. And first of all, thank you for that. We've been blessed to be a part of the Oklahoma landscape for, gosh, I don't know how many years, more than I'm going to say here. But the great news is we have the opportunity now to just to sit and chat and get reconnected. And there's just so much going on. I thought it was a great time. Kent, what have you been doing? Where have you been?
You know, I've been right here. And of course, with the whole social distancing thing, Barb and I have been staying right in the house, except for when I have to go out and get some groceries or something, or medicines or doctor visits, you know, the usual essential stuff.
Well, that's scary, though, lately, isn't it?
Yeah, it has. You know, and as people know, both of us were on the radio. We worked together for a while in the same building, and then we were on morning shows on different radio stations. And things happen. You know, financial challenges or whatever that caused us to no longer be on the radio. That's okay, because here's the way I look at that. Now, as much as I was sad to leave the radio, I also recognize that God has a plan for all of us. And it's often said, when God closes one door, he'll open another. So what I did was said, okay, here's a challenge that's been placed in front of me. I need to go knocking on some doors and figure out what next door is going to be open. And when it happens, I'll be real thrilled. I am very excited to find out what that's going to be.
You know, I think what we're going through, Kent, oh my gosh, look how many people are going through it right now. This pandemic has put such a squash on everything that folks were working to do. If you told us, let's think about this, end of February, this was going to be happening. Isn't that mind-boggling? Right. I know, like you, I've been keeping busy. I've done tons of commercials, which is such a blessing. So many of the people that I did advertising for when I was full-time on the radio, they've really reached out. They're like, hey, we still want to use you. And so that's been great. But you know what's so strange? I started doing the same thing you're doing. I'm like, well, God, everything's getting sort of postponed and canceled. And what's happening? And really, what are your plans? Because I'm here. I'm trusting you. It feels like this is going to be a very scary time. But doors are opening in different ways. And, you know, it's been amazing because I think that's why you and I connect so well, because I felt that exact same thing. I thought, you know, there was a place that meant a lot to me back in the day, and it's back. I don't know how and the way everything became sort of so wonderfully orchestrated, but I'm like, it's a God thing, and we can talk about that coming up because I guess the special thing for those people who are going through the same exact thing right now, there's a lot of despair in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah,
But at
there
the
is.
same time, there's some great, wonderful, inspiring things that are happening too. And it's all about just clinging to that faith that you already had. Don't let this shake you. We're not to be
That's
scared.
right. That's right. And this happened to us prior to the whole COVID-19 thing, and a lot of people have lost their jobs since then. One thing that I've received is a lot of encouragement because not only do I do radio, I'm a certified drone pilot, I do roof inspections, real estate, I do all kinds of stuff, voiceover work like you do. Television, all kinds of stuff, video production, everything. So people have encouraged me and said, you know what, you do so many things, go out and put all that together and just expand your business more. And just the encouragement I've gotten has just been so wonderful. So, and then doing this was like, I thought, okay, let's go ahead and do this. It's kind of a combination of doing video production and radio and working with one of my best friends. So I like this a lot. Now, here's the thing that somebody told me when I first lost my job. And very good friend of mine, I'll name him Vance Harrison. You know him very well. Great guy. And he said, Kent, here's what you need to do. Write down a list of everything that you can do. And this is what I advise other people who have lost their jobs over the year. And I say, really reassess what it is that your talents are and what you can do. Do not be defined by the job that you were doing. Think about yourself. What can you do? What other areas can you branch out into? When I left Indianapolis to come to Oklahoma City 31 years ago, I was given 5 months notice at that radio job. And you know how rare that is. You're lucky to get 5 minutes notice most of the time. But they said in 5 months, we're going to change format. We will be doing different things. We won't be needing you. We're going to give you every tool you need to find your next opportunity. That's what brought me here. But I was thinking during that time, do I want to do my next job in radio? What else can I do? Recording studio? I mean, at that time, they didn't have drones or anything else. But you start reassessing what you can do and thinking of the possibilities. Don't dwell on the past and the fact that that's no longer there. Think about the future and get excited about what the next adventure could be. That's what's helped me a lot.
God, that's going to make me cry. Kent, you're killing me. I'm already choked up.
Oh,
But
wow.
I mean, I think, what you're saying is exactly the truth. And it's so funny. You probably rolled out like one of those big stacks of computer paper for all the amazing things that you can do.
Oh, wow.
And some of us are good at, certain things, but, I haven't done very many things other than what I've done since, as a matter of fact, leaving college, I was studying to be a child psychologist. And it's because I was inspired by the work of a man named Father Paul Zoller. And I knew that that's what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I said, for my life, I'd love to work with kids and I would love to work with those with special needs. And there was something special about the way I saw him love and care for those people that, a lot of folks thought, oh gosh, what kind of future are they going to have? He never thinks that. He has never thought that. And I saw him sort of just go in with the same sort of excitement and expectation for any other person like you and me. And I see amazing things have happened for so many of those, at the time, young kids are now adults. So I thought that's what I wanted to do. But it was while I was there, I was in some sorority philanthropic takeover back in college. And one of the stops that we made, my sorority sisters and I, we would stop in and whatever business we sort of took over for the evening, that we got to use all the funds that were raised for our charities. And so it was a really fun project. We got to do it every year. But my senior year in college, it was really amazing. I had a double major. I was really working on some other things completely unrelated to this. And I walked into a radio station and we sat and we took over the broadcast of the local college radio station. And a week before I graduated, the general manager at that radio station said, yeah, I need you for a morning show. Are you interested? Here, I'm thinking I'm going to be going to school for many years, looking for my PhD. So I've got time. I need a little side job. Sure. It became my life. And the blessing I had, I went from one position to the next, and it just doors were opened at times that I didn't open them. And I kind of thought, okay, this is a path that I guess I'm going to be on. And here I am several years later, like a lifetime later, and I'm still doing the same thing. So I was scared I wouldn't be good at doing anything else at all. And so I think what's amazing is I was asked to do a voiceover for a project. This is before I left radio. And it was on a project for the same Father Paul Zoller I told you about.
Wow, yes.
And I was like, and his program I have kept in touch with over the years, and it's only gotten bigger. It's gotten more amazing. They're serving people globally, all children and adults and seniors and people with special needs in a way that is miraculous. And so I fell in love just in talking about their new project. They were on the campus of St. Gregory's College. And so I was saddened when St. Greg's, stopped being a university and it was sold. They were not able to be on that campus anymore. But I think coming up next, I've got some inspiration for somebody who ever doubted, hey, I can't really do anything else. I only know one other thing to do, and we'll be a mom.
That's interesting. And on top of that, you have some work with a former governor to tell us about, right?
I've got it.
So that's all on the way. We have a lot more to come, so don't go away. Hang on for just a second. Go grab a Coke or something, and we'll be back in like 15 seconds right here on the Kent and Kathi Cast.
Now, more of the Kent and Kathi Cast with Kent Jones and Kathi Yeager.
That was easy, right? That was a quick break. Was that enough time?
I feel like it's enough time. Did you get your soft drink? Did you get whatever it was that you were going to go grab and come back? Because, I can sing while we're waiting. No, please. No, nobody wants that.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, but you're a good singer, aren't you? You sing?
No, I sing. I do. I sing a lot. Every time there's karaoke, man. I have a good friend. When I was working at the Twister, his name's Bup, and he has this DJ service. And he always, whenever we were all together, would put on karaoke. And oh my gosh, I'm waiting for him to comment if he jumps on. Yeah, I'm the worst singer you'll ever hear, and yet I do it often, and I love it.
Well, that's great. I'm not quite that outgoing. However, I do When You're Hot, You're Hot, and I'll do Don't Worry, Be Happy on karaoke, but that's about it. I couldn't carry a tune if it had handles. Hey, we do want to say some shout-outs to some folks. Todd Huff is on. He said, hi, guys. Hi, Todd.
We love you, Toddy.
Beth Braden is on. Debbie Williams. It's great to hear from you. Taylor Maples also. And also we want to give a shout out to some of the businesses that maybe could use a little help. We just want to say thank you for continuing to serve, even while it's a little scary to do so.
I love that there are a lot of, pioneering ways that folks are staying in business. I want to say thanks so much for Grill on the Hill for chatting with us on Facebook earlier. Remember, when you comment, we share here on the Kent and Kathi Cast. So you're a part of the cast. Grill on the Hill of Oklahoma City. They've got meatloaf, catfish, serving breakfast all the way, I think, through lunch. And you know what? They're delivering. They may not be open with, of course, our stay-at-home rules that we have in place right now for COVID-19, but you know what they're doing? They're safely finding ways to prepare your food and deliver it. So go to grillonthehillokc.com and check them out.
Awesome stuff. What have you been involved in? What's coming up for you?
Well, before we even get a chance to talk about that, there is something that, how we were talking about, a lot of people are going through some pretty tough stuff. And the fact that you have just mentioned the small businesses in Oklahoma City, look how many have had to, close their doors and God willing, just temporarily. But there's a lot of people that are feeling the strain and the stress and the struggle of, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? What's next? In the same vein, a lot of people are also feeling the pain of, here we have plans to do this, and then boom, something happens completely unexpected. And you and I both this very week have experienced something that I think a lot of Americans right now, Oklahomans, are feeling the pain of losing someone in a pandemic. So before we go any further, I just want to extend my deepest sympathies for those who don't know. You just lost your mom, and you've been such an inspiring ray of hope. Your faith and knowing her salvation has just been a bright spot, because I too have lost someone very dear. My husband's father also passed this week, and God rest him. May their memories be eternal.
And neither one was from the virus necessarily, but one of the things that the hardship of the virus brought about, and I think for a lot of people too, was we were not able to visit with our mom. Now, my mom was in Phoenix. My brother and his family live out there, and they would go see her about every day or every other day. And then suddenly for 3 weeks, they couldn't go see her. And my biggest concern was, did she really know why she wasn't getting any visits? And we finally were able to get a visit in, and we were able to see by FaceTime in her last couple of days. But we were so blessed to have her as our mom. And I'm just so glad that she's at rest now and at peace also with my dad in heaven and my brother. And same for your father-in-law.
Papa Jerry was my husband's just his rock. And, they don't live here. They're in Arkansas. Like you, what do? We want to be around them. We just want to go and throw our arms around them. And that's been the hardest part. So if you've gone through this, let's just tell you that we are with you 100%. We absolutely feel what you're feeling, and we're praying for you too. And we just know that this time is going to pass, and there's going to be a point down the road that we're all going to have an opportunity to remember those loved ones. If you've lost someone like Kent and I have, my husband, God bless him, he's a trooper. He's getting the privilege to be with his mom right now. And I can only imagine the comfort that's giving her. But we wish we could all be there. But there'll be a day when we can celebrate their lives together. And hopefully this pandemic will be gone soon. So, just wanted to let you know we're with you. That was one more thing that I just couldn't believe happened during this time. And it's just unbelievable.
This has been a strange year for a lot of people. And thank you to those that are chiming in with prayers for us. We return those to you as well.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Virginia. Virginia, we love you so much. And Saad from, his amazing DJ service also checking in tonight. And I hope that your business is doing well. I know that there's something that you had mentioned, and I feel like this is also something unexpected in the middle of a 2020 that feels more like Y2K. Remember we were scared of that year.
Right,
now this
exactly.
is worse. We hope the second half will be even better, and kind of make up for some of the challenges we face. But I got to tell you, there is a program that I was telling you before the break about the National Institute on Developmental Delays. And I absolutely have been so blessed by their work and been so inspired by the work of Father Paul Zoller for so many years. And again, I mentioned before the break, they were on the campus of St. Gregory's University. So when the college was sold, they were displaced. And it was a heartbreak because you saw so many people. They have so many programs. If you knew what all they did, as a matter of fact, it's their child development program that's been going. This is a 50-year-old program, keep in mind. They have, services for, those with special needs. They have a wonderful camp setting that absolutely is it changes your life every time you're there. And I've had the privilege of being there more than once. And it's just absolutely amazing, the gift that is, and for the parents of children and adults. They have, a home health corporation, Ultimate One Home Health, that is complete nonprofit. I could list it on and on and on, but all these programs that they did, the horse riding, the aquatics and water therapy, everything was just suddenly stopped when they were displaced. So it was like a miracle. Somebody who had been a part of the program back even before I went to St. Gregory's and was aware of the program, former Governor Brad Henry and his beautiful wife, Kim, they had a kiddo there. And it is my understanding that they had really grown through this process with their child and getting to know Father Paul and Virginia and the wonderful staff there. And they've stayed connected all these years. So he and his family and, his business partners, they just donated 40 acres to this amazing program so they can develop a new campus. It's like taking lemons and making pure, delicious, the most wonderful lemonade you'll ever taste in your life. Kind of like my mom's lemonade. They have all sorts of amazing plans. I know that Snuck, they have, they're in development right now with this amazing architect firm. A lot of folks know the Mass folks, the Dwayne Mass. They have done a lot of the landmarks around Oklahoma, the capital. They're just amazing. And thanks to former Governor Henry, they've put them in touch, and they've put together some really amazing development. So I snuck a picture, and I don't know if I'm supposed to show it yet.
Guess what?
But
We're already showing it.
oh, there it is.
So I hope we can.
There it is. But look at all of that. This 40 acres will facilitate. And let me just tell you, it is not now just for home integration, which is the company which houses National Institute on Developmental Delays and all of their amazing programs, the therapeutic, horsemanship, Camp Benedictine, the Child Development Center, the supported living facilities where they go into the homes. They also have international training and a teleeducation, which is phenomenal, that a lot of parents, they're not able to be, I guess, in their care. So they are able to do these types of wonderful routines via their teleeducation over an online education. It is amazing what all they do. So now they have the wonderful opportunity to do this facility. So you know what's coming next? When we're out of this difficult time and you think to yourself, I would love to have a place to give. This is it. This is the one, nidd.us. They have a link, a donate site, and I'm telling you, you will be amazed. Again, it's not just for their programs. When their programs are not, say for instance, they're not working with somebody in their, gymnasium, the aquatics, or the horse therapy, it's open for the entire community. It's yours and mine. It's Oklahoma's. And, you rent it for parties. You got an amphitheater. I mean, I'm going to ask Garth Brooks to come play. I mean, there's just going to be
great.
like,
wow.
yeah, like, come on, everybody.
I mean, to look at that again, I'll put that graphic up again. You've got the outdoor amphitheater, the children's museum, the pavilion, the riding trails, family retreat. There's so much there. It's pretty amazing.
So to bring back that inspiring story that I shared before we went to break, this is the program that I was introduced to in college, and I had the privilege of learning so much that set me on a course to be a child development specialist, somebody that maybe even would go on for a PhD and work in child psychology. By the gift of, God, I've gotten a chance to have a platform, a microphone, and to really grow and do things in other ways. But they asked me a while back to voice this thing with Governor Henry, and I had the privilege of working on that with Ackerman McQueen, who is, they're amazing. The work they do is just phenomenal. And we put this video out that I'm going to share on the Kent and Kathi page with a link for you to donate. And it was so cool because it just reconnected me all over again to the program. So when I heard about this and I wanted to help them with their fundraising, I started working to, sort of be, a voice for them, an opportunity to connect them to people that I know and love so that they would fall in love with this program and know how much good it's going to do, not only for those wonderful, all children and adults and those with special needs, but for our seniors, for, our community. It's going to be so cool.
Absolutely.
So
That's great.
On the Kent and Kathi page, please share, please get, if you are in a position still to give, or if you're a company that does want to continue giving, give monthly. Do it. nidd.us. And let me tell you, they've saved my life all over again, because now I believe in something even broader that maybe my years in radio have sort of led me to. So you never know what the future brings, but I'm so blessed to be with them right now, and I want you to join me.
That's fantastic, Kathi. Hey, in just a second, you being a parent of school-aged children, I've got the parenting survey coming up for us next. All right, it's coming up on the Kent Kathi Cast.
Break's over. Now back to the fun with the Kent and Kathi Cast.
That didn't last long.
Telling you these, commercial breaks, where, you complain about them, so we've taken care of them. We've just given you, like, seconds.
We have a space for them on the clock, but we just don't have anything to put in there. That's okay.
Until you give us your commercial, which you can connect and message on the Kent Kathi page, and we'll take care of you. I will say a big shout out to Ultimate One Home Health that I was talking about earlier, UOHHC.com. UOHHC.com, completely nonprofit. They are absolutely the most quality care, safe, and I think you and your family will grow knowing that you're in great hands with Ultimate One Home Health.
That's great. Now, the parenting survey. I noticed that your kids haven't barged in on the broadcast tonight.
Yet.
Yeah.
They'll be here. Somebody's going to need something.
Okay. Well, there's a survey that came out by Mixbook, an internet-based photo design tool that asked questions of 2,000 parents of school-age children. And some of the results say what the most difficult age to parent is. What do you think it is?
I'm thinking ever since you teased that, I remember, I think when I was early in sort of my career and having to decide, when to stay home, when to go to work. So maybe granted, I had my babies a little bit older, but 27?
No, are you talking the kid's age or your age?
Your age.
No. Talk the kid. What is the age of the kid that is the most difficult to manage and parent?
Oh, wait, let me whisper this one. 17. Just kidding, Gentry.
We always say that Martians take the brains out of the kids at like 12 and they put them back in at 21, right?
Yes, I think you're right.
The survey said that age 8 is the most difficult to parent. Top 3 parenting milestones: first day of kindergarten, first time they walk somewhere alone, starting first grade. And don't you have the pictures of your kids when they started first grade?
Oh, of course, we still do them. As a matter of fact, we'll never stop. Even when they go to college, we're doing those pictures.
Top embarrassing moments for a parent: shouting something inappropriate. You're not supposed to say that. Undressing in public.
Oh, Lord.
Accidentally taking something without paying for it. They didn't know. They don't know the system. Getting lost in a store. Having a tantrum. And that's just your husband.
Yeah.
That's the results of the parenting survey that we had. Wow. How many people can relate to that?
Yeah. Comment if you relate. I will definitely share here on the Kent and Kathi page. Mike says the next year of their life. Hi,
right.
Rosemary. Thanks for jumping in and listening on the Kent and Kathi show.
We had some good friends and still do, but when their daughter was 14 and our daughter was 12, the 14-year-old was doing some things and the parent said to us, "Do you have a 14-year-old?" I mean, it was like frustrating what was going on. And I said, "No, but we have one on order. We expect delivery in about 2 years." We all go through it. It's okay.
Yep.
All right.
I know that is definitely one that a lot of people can relate to, so I can't wait to see what folks are saying. Speaking of your comments, here we are, and we're stuck with our families. You do find out a lot about your family in the middle of a pandemic, don't you?
Did you ever expect to spend this much time all cooped up together?
I begged for it. Now it's like, I'm ready for a break. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. But it does make you wonder some of the hashtag COVID habits that are being created right now. I hope we can break when we get back to sort of, God willing, a more normal, because I thought to myself, the kids are going to bed later than they were, because we're doing, obviously distance learning, and everybody's going to get up and get going with their work. And we've kind of got a new little sort of routine, but it's not as intense. So some of these COVID habits, but one of the COVID habits that I found strange, and it relates to you and me, since here we are together and we're in front of God and everybody, the whole world gets to see what we look like at any given moment. And what's up with all the TV folks that are doing their TV and whatever interviews from home that like they don't know how to do their own hair? Like did they not do their hair for the first few years of their life before becoming a TV personality?
No, you know what they're used to is just going in because they were probably told not to put any makeup on, don't do any hair, because we're going to do that before you get on camera. And so they're out of practice. They're just not used to it. You ever see any of the TV personalities around town, like on the weekend, and they don't have makeup? And it's
I actually love that. It's so fun to see them, because you're like, oh, you're like me. You're a regular person. Oh, yes.
Right. And for you and me, we're on the Facebook broadcast now. People aren't used to seeing us. I don't have any makeup on. I just came in.
Well, look at this. I'm gonna share a secret, because like I have no shame. obviously we can't go to the hairdresser. Like, you see how gray I'm getting? Do you see how
Oh,
gray? It's like starting around here in the temples, and usually you try to go before that ever would even begin. So it's like you're finding out new things about yourself. It's like,
yeah.
look at me, I look pretty old.
Well, I've always said I was determined to lose my hair before it turned gray, so I don't have that problem. But it does get
You
a little
won.
shabby, you know. Fortunately, I got my hair cut before this whole thing happened, but we may have to get a Flowbee out and take care of what's there. Do you have a
I need to
Flowbee?
go.
Did you ever have one of those?
Oh, why would I have one of those, Kent? Heck no. But I will put it up for folks to see on the Kent and Kathy page, because if somebody, millennials, you have no clue what a Flowbee is, but you would probably love them, because you want to talk about do it yourself. This thing, you can get that crazy sort of shabby Jonas slash, Boris Johnson, God bless him, hair if you want to, all by yourself. You don't have to pay someone to do it for you.
Right, right. Back when I did do some TV and I was on for like a minute, I did this community service announcement for a TV station up in Evansville, Indiana. At the end of the day, after I did all my stuff for the TV station, I put on this pancake makeup that the TV people always wear, right? It's just really thick,
Right.
but that way you don't shine and all that. Do my minute of community announcements, which always concluded with what the school lunch menu was for the day, because they would air this the next morning. And then I go home and wipe all that stuff off. The first time I forgot to do that, and it's all over my pillow.
Oh,
I,
gosh.
I've not had to do that except for any movies that I've done. And it's kind of nice then when you're on set between takes and then the makeup artist comes over and just takes care of
And
things.
you've been in movies recently, Kent. I know I saw something about that. I did a movie when I was on the OSU campus. I was an extra, and my friends and I, we walked by, and I thought that was cool because it actually was on like the movie channels like HBO and those channels back in the day. But yeah, we didn't have to have makeup or anything. They didn't care. They just wanted us to walk by. But that was great for us. We were
Yeah.
like, we'll
Yeah.
take the $35 and walk. So thank you.
Well, that sure is a lot of fun to do whenever we get to do it. So, yeah, there have been several opportunities that I've had. And that was always a dream of mine as a kid, to be in movies. Doing radio was kind of a way to do the performance thing, have some fun, meet a lot of cool people, and have a job every day. So in movies, it's like you're always looking for your next gig. But boy, when you get it, it sure is a lot of fun.
We're getting some comments I wanted to share because Deborah's come up with this idea. Deb saying, like, get Garth and Trisha and the Wise Guys to play one big concert. Hey, maybe we could do a fundraiser, but wait. So maybe you, Deb, have to start that. Hashtag it or do whatever it needs to be done. You get it started, and I'm open.
Yeah.
I think that would be a blast.
Well, the
Wouldn't that
Wise
be so much
Guys are
fun?
totally awesome, and all those guys are very close friends of mine. What I think it would be fun to do is if they could play somewhere, and we'll live stream it for everybody. I'll talk to them about that.
That's a
That'd be
great
something
idea.
that we could really do. And Barb piped in here, my wife. She piped in about the parenting thing, and she says when Mel wandered into someone's house and said this place really stinks. That was an embarrassing moment.
I love that.
Yes.
They say from the lips of children, we're supposed to be that honest.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, we were talking about hashtag COVID habits. If
Yes.
you want to jump on Facebook with one of yours, the Kent and Kathy page, one of the things I have created a habit on, I know that you and I both have recently done this. It's that trip to the store for groceries in COVID-19. I've got an all new crazy COVID habit. It requires a great deal of Lysol, of which I keep running out because of it. We can talk
Really?
about it if you want. Yep.
Well, yeah, I think the biggest COVID habit that we have is eating more snacks. And when we do go to the grocery store, isn't it something that we're picking up all the sweet rolls, donuts, whatever else is high carb, snacky stuff? And because we're always home, it's always there. And so we end up, oh, that looks good. I'll just eat that. It won't hurt anything. How many times a day have you picked up a snack?
Well,
Okay, that's your
Hey,
COVID habit.
do you remember in like college they called it the freshman 15? We've got the COVID-19.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the way that works.
And things are starting to jiggle.
Speaking of going shopping, I would go to Walmart, and Walmart's doing a really cool thing now. Is they're letting only like 2 people in per 1,000 square feet to make sure everyone stays separate. But a lot more people are using the pickup service, and I used it the other day. And then I also went one time when I wasn't going to use the pickup service. I was going to their pharmacy drive-through, but there were like 6 cars in line for the 15 spaces for pickup that were all filled.
Oh,
and so
man.
the next day when I did go and pick up, then I asked the guy if that was a common thing. And he says, yes, it was like that all day long. The demand is so high for the pickup that, if you go and do an order, you might have to wait a couple of days now before you find a time slot where you can pick it
Yeah.
up.
It's
And
hard. It's hard to get all you want too.
Right. There's occasions when they substitute, which is really nice, but other times you just can't because they've run out. Now, something that I did try to do, because my first job when I lived in Brecksville, Ohio, a suburb of Cleveland, my first job when I was 16 years old was as a grocery clerk. I bagged groceries at the checkout counter. I stocked shelves, and I carried the groceries out to the car. We were not allowed to accept any tips. And when somebody would try to tip us, and that was because they didn't want the sackers, to try to go for the customers we knew were big tippers. So we weren't allowed to accept tips. But if somebody stuffed the bill in our pocket, we didn't take it. They stuffed it. They insisted, right? So that happened occasionally. So I think of these people that are doing the grocery shopping and putting them in our cars.
Yeah.
In fact, anybody that is still working at an essential business, you're around a lot of people and putting yourself at risk. And I just
Front line.
salute you for that. But I tried to give a tip to the girl that put the groceries in the car. And a lot of times I'll try to help them put the groceries in the car. But I said, look, I would help you, but I know I'm going to keep my distance. And I said, are you allowed to accept a tip? And she said, no, we're really not allowed to. I said, really? I really want to give this to you. And she said, no, I'm sorry. And then thank you anyway, and walked away. The next time I did it, there was a guy that came out and loaded everything in the car. And I had the $5 bill there. And I said, are you allowed to accept a tip? He says, no, we're really not allowed to. I said, well, look, when I was a kid, people would tip me by stuffing it in my pocket. Do you have a pocket? And he,
That kind of sounds like a come on line. You
I know,
need to be
I know,
careful
it's not
to say
supposed to.
that. You know what I'm saying?
but he said that with the jacket and everything, no, there's no pocket to stick it into. So all I could do was just say, well, thank you for your help. And I dropped the $5 in the little container that he had brought all the food out in. So I hope he didn't get in trouble for that. If his boss saw that, I really hope they don't put people in trouble for that. Because you know what? I just wanted to show my love. And I would like to have said, that's a tip that I got when I was 16 years old. I'm just passing it on to you.
I think that is actual wonderful gesture. And if you think about it, who thinks about tipping their doctor or nurse, But like lately I've just thought to myself, I just want to buy my wonderful friends who are on the front line something and maybe like send it to their family. So I thought about what you could do is some of our sponsors, maybe if folks want to sort of advertise with us, what you could do, we could throw out mentions of places that will ship dinner. Like I know a lot of folks love the food at Ned's Starlight Lounge. I see they're checking us out right now, and I want to say thanks for your support. I would love for them, if you want someone to send food to your healthcare workers, people you love, like maybe you could send it to them where they're working, or maybe to their kids at home, because you got to imagine, what they're going through, just like the folks at the grocery stores. I was glad to see our dear friends at Crest. I go to the one here in Edmond at 15th and Santa Fe. They have you go in one door and you come out another one, and they've started protecting all of their workers where they have to wear, masks, and they're restocking and they clean as best they can. My gosh, I started thinking, I try to clean my house as best I can, because you may not know, my mom lives with us, and of course we have 3 young children that live at home, and my husband and myself, and my mom is on chemo treatment, so we've got to keep everything very sterile for her. So and I think to myself, did I remember to get that doorknob? Did I remember to get that, because I have to do it several times a day just to make sure, in case we've exposed ourselves to anything, like at the grocery store or to picking up mail at your mailbox. You don't think about that. Our mail guy seems awfully healthy, but you never know. So you don't know.
And something that we've learned, of course, in this whole safety environment is when you bring your groceries home, and I'm going to show this video, the groceries that I brought home today, where you wipe down everything. You set all your bags of groceries on one side or in one area, pull everything out, wipe it down, and then set it over on the other side. Set that down, go to the next thing, wipe it down. and keep doing that with all of your groceries. Now, we had some bananas today, and Barb said, do we wipe down the bananas? I said, well, how about the bananas you can just wash off in the sink? And you know what? They say that warm water breaks down the fat covering or the skin of the virus and breaks it down. It's a protein. It's not a live thing. But if you can break down the protein, it no longer is effective. That's what I'm reading anyway. So doing that wipe down is just a really good thing to do. And then wipe down the handles that you touched while bringing the bags in.
This is a really, really great, I guess, lesson for all of us that I'm sitting here looking at the way you do it. I try to compare sort of the way I've been doing it lately, with obviously some Lysol on the things that are harder to wipe. So it's kind of funny you said the thing about the bananas. I Lysoled bananas the other day because I'm like, well, they're going to eat what's inside. But I didn't know. But the warm water would probably make a lot more sense to my family who probably is like, why does this banana smell funny, Mom?
And I guess the temperature has to be above a certain point, and I'm not sure what it is, but that's something to look up. That's why when you wash your hands, rinse in really hot water and wash for 20 seconds, as we all know.
Get that foam from the soap, too. Have you seen that video where they talk about the foam? Yeah, I agree with you, and I think that's a wonderful video. Okay, so next time I am going to now shoot something here at my house. Of course, I'm very OCD. I don't know if you know this about me. So my little procedure is pretty entertaining. So I'll have to, I guess it's really, if my husband goes somewhere, it's what I do to that poor man when he gets home. He literally, it's like he keeps his mask on while I spray him from head to toe, including his shoes. It's hilarious. And then the other day, I'm not making this up. He's out of town, so I can get away with this one. I made him undress in the laundry room, throw all his clothes in the wash. And he's like, how do I get upstairs? And I'm like, here's the washcloth. I don't know. Get up there.
Yeah, because we're doing the same thing. When I come home from somewhere, it's like undress in the laundry room, get to the bedroom. All right. I think that's probably all the further we need to go on that one, huh?
Too much information?
Yes,
okay.
Indeed. Okay, we have a couple more things coming up that we want to share with you. So hang on, because we have the Jeopardy question that was ahead of its time. That's coming up. Also, our gender mind bender. And we'll see how Kathy and everybody else does on this, too. So hang on. We'll be right back on the Kent and Kathi Cast. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Break's over. Back to the fun on the Kent and Kathi Cast.
All right. That was it. That's all the time you had.
Hey, I want to give another shout out. I saw Danny and the wonderful folks at Thrifty Pharmacy are checking us out on the Kent Kathi Cast. So welcome. And thanks for all their hard work.
I love Danny Lynch. She's so awesome. And the whole staff there is so helpful on so many things. If you have any questions about anything, Danny knows the answer, or her staff. So, and you can usually find Danny at the location at May and Hefner. There's also the location they have at 2nd and Santa Fe and Edmond. So, Danny Lynch, thank you for being here and being a part of this tonight.
What I love about folks like that, they've been in business forever and they know you, so they know exactly what your needs are, and that's pretty cool. So appreciate y'all, and I'm so glad you're here. Those who are celebrating Easter this weekend, Good Friday, maybe you have plans to be at home streaming something live with your family. Of course, that seems to be what a lot of us are doing right now. But one of the things I have done, and you probably have now too, is catch up on your favorite TV shows, because when you're busy working mama, we don't always get to catch our shows at normal times. But, you mentioned Jeopardy. I'm very curious about the question that you say is before it's time.
Well, and we will watch Jeopardy. We'll watch Wheel. On Tuesday, there was a show on Jeopardy where the answer to now this was part of the 2-week-long collegiate championship. Nathaniel Miller, who's a sophomore at Yale, he selected an $800 clue from Double Jeopardy, and the category was health and medicine. And the question was, or the answer, if you will, from a Greek word for people, it describes a disease that affects many people at one time. Well, Miller buzzed in with the correct question. What is a pandemic? Now, this aired on Tuesday, but the show was actually taped in February before the pandemic became a pandemic here in the United States. So it's like that question was before its time, and maybe today that would be kind of awkward. But he got that.
Wow. I wonder what inspired them. When you mentioned the collegiate champion, I know that was a while back. So I'm like, I wonder what inspired that question. That's crazy. Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
You know,
Talk about
unless
one
I
of
know
those.
that they get. I don't know if you ever saw the special that they did with Alex Trebek and how they come up with the questions and everything, and they really sit around a table and think of all these different questions and figure out how much money they should be worth and so on. So maybe they had heard about things going on in China and other countries that hadn't really hit here strong yet, and so they thought, well, let's make that a question, see if people know what a pandemic is.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty. That gives me the willies. I don't know why, but it gives me the willies.
Yeah,
Have
everybody
you been
knows what it
watching
is now.
anything else though? I know that another hashtag that I've seen trending lately is like, what are you Corona streaming? You know, Corona streaming is like the new thing, and you can't really, or at least the first few weeks of being stranded at home for a lot of us, you couldn't go to a social network page without hearing about this Tiger King.
Oh yes, Tiger King.
I,
Wow.
I have
Okay,
not
so
done
have you
it.
seen?
I haven't
You
watched.
haven't?
Nope.
I thought I was the only one that hadn't. You know,
What, you
everyone
haven't
has.
seen it either?
No, no. Our daughter said, you know, hey, mom, dad, you got to go. You got to see this Tiger King thing. You know, people have said that have seen it say, you know, this is not representative of Oklahoma. I don't know. I haven't seen the show. If you've seen the show, comment. Let us know, and we'll pass that along, or people can see that.
I
in the
think at
comments.
least one of us needs to watch it, but it's not going to be me. So I'm just,
I
I
guess
don't
that
know
leaves
why.
me.
I don't know
All right.
why. It's just like, I can't.
Well, Barbara and I have said we need to watch it just because it's been recommended. And, you know, for
Yeah.
us, that's show prep. So, got to watch it so at least we know what that's about.
I'm like streaming all my old Jane Austen movies. Like I've watched Pride and Prejudice. I've watched Sense and Sensibility. I'm so nerdy. I love all my little Brit shows. I'm like the PBS queen over here. So, so I'm like, this is way out of my wheelhouse.
Wow, PBS Queen.
Yep.
Some of the best. Well, of course, now what was the big show? Barb was a huge fan of it. And I
Downton
got
Abbey, baby.
Downton Abbey. I got into that too. You know, we had planned for Barb's birthday, we were going to do a trip to England, and I was going to surprise her with a tour of Downton Abbey, which Claire, I forget the name of the real castle.
Highclere Castle.
Highclere Castle. And I was all set for that. And then this pandemic broke out. And so I said, look, Barb, we're going to do this trip. Not sure when, but it's coming down the line in the future.
Well,
So-
now that we are reconnected, Barb, would you mind if I go too? No.
Right. That's great. We actually have some relatives that live over there. My niece and her wife and their 4 little girls. I'll tell you what, they are a blast.
That's so great. Well, I don't
Um,
know. I thought that was sort of a gender thing, but nope. I think guys even love that show. So that's really cool that you're doing that.
Yeah, they're going to be cool. All right, we have the gender mind bender. We got to get this. Are you ready for this?
You know, I'm not sure. Okay, give me the hint. I want to know what's going on here.
All right, we're going to see. And by the way, if you tuned in early before the show actually began, we gave a little hint. So maybe
And I
you
still
already
didn't
know
get it.
If you know the answer, pipe in on our comments. The question is, 50 years ago, men almost exclusively did this. Nowadays, women do it 3 times as much as men. What is it? All right. So
Breaks
men
over. Back to
men
the
used to
fun
do this
on the
almost
Kent and
exclusively.
Kathi
Whoops, we
Cast.
don't want that yet. Hang on. Stop.
I am really struggling
this?
on that one because
Okay.
can I give you my first quick guess?
Okay, go for it.
I know it's probably completely wrong, but like shaving. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
That's interesting.
Awkward.
50 years ago, it was exclusively done by men.
Well, yeah, okay.
Okay, maybe
not.
that's not it. No. All right. 50 years ago, men almost exclusively did this. Nowadays, women do it 3 times as much as men. What is it? We're going to have the answer coming up for you in just a few minutes. Actually, just 30 seconds here on the Kent and Kathi Cast.
Time's up. Pencils down, eyes forward. It's time to check your work on the Kent and Kathi Cast.
All right, we got to see how you did.
I'm looking at our comments to see if anyone else had any ideas. Deb and Beth are so great listening in, and they are talking about how they still clean their fruits and vegetables and do all the things with like vinegar water and things like that. Hi, Beth. Thank you for those comments.
Yeah, that's
if
cool.
you know the answer, I think you should say it again because I feel like I really don't have any clue.
All right, one more time. 50 years ago, men almost exclusively did this. Nowadays, women do it 3 times as much as men. What is it? All right, now I'll give you the clue. We gave this during the countdown before the show actually began. The clue was this is usually done in the summertime or something like that. Summertime activity. What are women doing 3 times? What?
I know.
What?
Fishing?
Nope. Sorry.
Ah.
All right, the answer is mow the lawn.
We
Is
do
that
it
you?
more?
Women do it apparently 3 times as much as men.
Hush, don't tell my husband this.
No.
Can we keep that between us?
For me, it's exclusively me. Barb used to help out until I got on her case one time about the lines not being straight.
Oh,
That was a
relate to
fatal
that.
mistake. Yeah. So now it's all me. But she helps when she can with cleaning up and stuff. That's great. Love her. But I take care of it most of the time.
Wow, that is pretty. That one caught me off guard. I did not know that, but I actually know a lot of females that mow. I know that I've had neighbors I've seen do it. Shout out to my neighbor across the street, Pepper. She rocks. I see her doing her lawn all the time. It's usually about the time where I come out to bring my husband lemonade to try and suck up for the fact that I am literally not going to be mowing the lawn. I can barely drive. You don't want me mowing the lawn. I'm 5'1", and I'm directionally challenged. I get lost in behind a bush or something like that. So
Okay, a little bit of a tip for you, because I got my lawnmower out for the first time last week, would not start. Here's the thing, when the gas has been in the tank for more than a month, it's probably no good. And that gas had been there all winter long. So I drained the gas tank. Then I also took the carburetor off and make sure that that was clean, and the little hole that's in there, make sure that that isn't clogged with some dirt. Put all that back together, put some fresh gas in there, still wouldn't start. Wow. It would go sput, 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 and then stop. And so I thought, okay, I'll get some gas additive. I went and got some gas additive, put it in there, and still won't start. The additive is supposed to clean out whatever mess is in there. So I'm not sure what to do at this point. How much does it cost, and are there any lawnmower shops open that are, essential businesses? Oh. To keep the grass cut, I think that's essential. So I need some help with that. How about you?
Right.
Do you have a lawnmower I can use?
I have a husband that might just love to mow your lawn. He's so great outside. I'm so impressed by him.
Well, that's great. Well, anyway, if anyone, it's getting to be that time, and fortunately I have a weed eater that works, but I'm not going to go over my whole lawn with a weed eater. So I got to figure that out.
I saw on TV that O'Connor's is an essential business and they're still open. Maybe you can give them a call and see if they want to be on the show to tell us all what we need to do in case that ever happens. That'd be fun.
And maybe fix my lawnmower. I'm sure the spark plug is good, because at least it does kind of start for a second, but it just never really kicks into full gear. And I just got to get that done before the neighbors start complaining about my grass. So anyway.
Yeah, that's the worst part. Keeping up with the Joneses, or in your case, the Joneses.
Yeah. I guess that's it. Got to keep up with myself, and sometimes that's hard. Barb has a hard time keeping up with me. I'm so active with stuff. Hey, today, of course, is Good Friday, Easter coming up on Sunday. I wanted to show you something that was going on in my neighborhood. Barb and I take our dog for a walk around the neighborhood, and we came across this. I'll show you these mailboxes that are colored with chalk. And all these mailboxes are colored like this, and I think it's really cool. I don't know who did it, or if it was a school, maybe a Sunday school project or something. I have no idea, but it's really cool what they did.
Sweet. I love that. A lot of neighborhoods are getting together. I have the Nextdoor app, and I see a lot of, wonderful ideas that are being, created during this social quarantine time. One of our neighbors, she did something really special. She put Easter eggs at our front door, Lysoled, of course, and inside was a note on ways that we can do things to stay connected or help others during this time. And I thought that was a beautiful way to share the love of Easter with your neighbor during a social quarantine time, and do it with your family. So I thought that was a really neat idea too. So I love the mailboxes. That's pretty.
Yeah, it's really neat. And we've had some rain and it hasn't washed off, which is really cool. So yeah, pretty nice. And as we get into Easter Sunday, of course, a lot of churches you can't go to, but many of them are streaming. So it's really nice that we can still participate in that celebration through stream and through family. If you're doing an Easter egg hunt in your backyard with your family, we used to do that with Melanie all the time. She was so good at finding the eggs.
That's so great.
And we still have the eggs up in the attic. We need to just hide them again just for the fun of it.
You
But,
should. How old
yeah.
is she now? She's probably don't want you to say, to God and everybody, but she's an adult now, is she not?
Very much so. Yeah, she's 29. So, but you know what?
Oh,
She would still have fun with it because she loves those times that we had as when she was a kid.
Oh, I love
So,
doing that with my kiddos too. And speaking of, catching something, one of the things that I do with my church, I actually, when you click to like the Kent and Kathy page here on Facebook, and that was a reminder for me when I liked my church page. Well, I already liked it, but I put see first. Like when you click like, you can hit that little area where it's like default or see first. That way, you always know when we're about to go live. And now when my church stream starts, it basically gives me a notification. So we'd love for you to connect and be with us every time we get together here on the Kent and Kathy Cast, and love for you to be a part of the cast with your comments and the ways that maybe you want to share. If you want to share during the week that maybe we're not, at that moment on the air, we'd love to share maybe when we get back. So
that's
feel
right.
free to do that and
And
share your businesses too.
and when that next time is, we haven't really set, but since you follow us or like us, you will find out, and we'll come on and we'll do this again and participate with you with your comments too, because you're part of the cast as well. So it's good to have you with us. Thank you so much. Any final words as we head out the door?
Well, for the if you've seen that movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, those Orthodox Christians, happy Holy Week, and for everyone else that's celebrating this weekend, Christ is risen. So glad you're with us, and I can't wait to
Indeed.
see you again.
Very good. Happy Easter. Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll catch you next time on the Kent and Kathy Cast. See ya.